Hey everyone, I'm Lou Perez, your host of the Builder Upper Show, a podcast where we talk about everything in the construction and trades. Now let's get into it. I would like to welcome our guest, Mike Essrig, founder and president of ETC Building and Design and Safety Proof. Hey Mike, how are you doing today?
I am great. It's a beautiful day here in San Diego.
Oh man, you are so lucky. So
I
I'm in
know.
I'm in Wisconsin. The leaves are falling. I feel like in the morning you have to put on a hoodie. In the afternoon you might need to be wearing shorts. So it's a total up and down situation over here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I appreciate you jumping on here. I've been anticipating this podcast with you for quite some time. I'm super excited that you're here and to hear your story. So why don't we jump right in? When did you get into construction?
Well, I wouldn't call it construction at the time. Let me see. To go back a little bit further, in 1971, I'm 12 years old. I'm laying in bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, anticipating, one of the first days back to school after the break, and all of a sudden the earth starts shaking. The Silmar earthquake hit in the Granada Hills, Mission Hills area of the San Fernando Valley in California. And I was thrown out of bed, and the bookcase and everything in my room, I had this huge bookcase and a black light and a lava lamp and, the whole works. I'm 12 going on 13 and I'm really 20, right? I get thrown out of bed and this thing is coming at me, and I barely escaped it. And my whole house was just shaken up. And 10 minutes later, they had us evacuate. The police
Wow.
came by and said, "You have to leave. The dam behind our house may break. You got to leave." So that was a real, believe it or not, wake up call. And that, was stuck right here in my brain until my wife and I had two little babies at home. And my wife was a school teacher and I was selling real estate at the time. And I said, God, I'm thinking about this earthquake, Silmar quake. What do we do if we're both at work and the nanny is staying with the babies and we lose, the phones, and we can't get in contact with her. We don't know after a quake if they're going to be okay. So I went through and fastened everything in my house, right?
Wow.
Bookcases, appliances, got a gas shutoff valve, an automatic shutoff valve. I went crazy. And when I was done fastening all the cabinets, everything, I said, wow, this is a good business for somebody. And I had a contractor friend that was living in the same neighborhood. And I said, hey, why don't you do this business? And he goes, no, you know what? Okay, well, maybe. Would you do it with me? And I said, well, yeah, I would be free on the weekends, I guess. And, I'll do it with you. So we started this little business. And then we were starving because, the earthquake had been so far away. This was in 1993, right? And so, we starved doing this for 6 months. And he finally says, you know what? I got to go. I've got to go make a living doing something else. And I said, oh, I think I'll keep it. And then I went and did a presentation for some big companies, and Xerox and Exxon and Prudential Insurance, and all these companies that I did this little, evening performance of, what I knew about earthquake preparedness. They came out and they said, hey, we're going to call you. And they called me and placed orders. I got orders with everybody. And I was in the black right after that. So I took my money and I put it into advertising. At that time in 93, we had Yellow Page, the Yellow Pages. So I sunk some advertising into the Yellow Pages. And the night before the Northridge earthquake, my wife said, did you put the Velcro on the back of the little pictures in the hallway leading up to one of our daughter's bedrooms? And I said, So 10 o'clock at night, this is true story. I'm sticking Velcro on the back of these pictures. And at 4:31 a.m., the Northridge earthquake hits.
Wow.
I mean, I was literally jumped up, floating on air, running to one child's bedroom. My wife was going to the child's bedroom. That was, I put the pictures up. Nothing in our house fell. Nothing happened. We got to our kids. We were not scared. As a matter of fact, I was jumping up and down, going, "Oh my! I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it." And we had these lights that came on that were mercury controlled. I was testing out everything, and they came on. So my house is lit up. Everything's fine. Our neighbors come over. They're knocking on the door, freaking out. What's going on? Why do you have lights? And I said, I told you guys to get prepared. I said, all you had to do is fasten all your furniture. I would have even done it for you, but you guys, whatever. So that's how it started. Okay.
That's incredible.
And yeah, and so I was out doing fastening people's homes, and then the nice lady Teresa, who was actually cleaning our house for us once a week. I said, "Hey Teresa, would you like to work in the back with me and earthquake supplies and everything for another day?" And she said, "Okay, I would love it." Right. So she and I are making earthquake kits and fasteners and putting everything together. After the Northridge earthquake hit, I probably got, I don't know, 1,000 phone calls a day. We had people coming to our house because I used the garage as my showroom, right?
Yeah.
I had to raise the garage door at 6:30 in the morning, and people were lined up around the block. I kid you not. There was probably 100 people at any one time lined up. I was taking people through my house to show them how to use the fasteners. That's how intense it got. My mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my wife, everybody was there trying to handle all this business. And this went on for months. And finally, my neighbors, who were very kind about it, said, "You know what? You got to move. I mean, you got to move your business because, we're here in the cul-de-sac and we're getting these big trucks delivering stuff every day." So I said, "Okay." So I opened up. That's where I started. And I said, "Okay, well, I can take this beyond fastening homes. I can take this into the commercial arena," right? And so we started fastening like commercial buildings, the Prudential Insurance and doing all of that. And I said, I can take this beyond that. I can get into hospital fastening. And so we started doing the seismic bracing in hospitals. And that's where it led to not really doing too much commercial and really getting out of the residential part of it and going strictly into healthcare and laboratories. So with that, we then started a construction company called ETC Building and Design, and that's 10 years into it. And 22 years ago, I think it was 2002 is when we started ETC Building and Design. And all we do now is healthcare and labs. We remodel, we do, MRI suites, ED suites. We build ground up, starting to do the ground up. We're doing behavioral health units. So we really, really started branching out and going into the construction. And we brought some fantastic people in with us who were experts at the construction and built, hundreds of millions of dollars worth. My partner, John Mincer, and he was doing this for a very, very large company at the time, and decided, you know what, they were going to move, they get out of the hospital business. And he said, "Hey, you got anything? Because I don't really want to move to Tennessee. Do you have anything that, you could use me for?" And we said, "Oh my God, yes. Let's really get the hospital division going." And John's now the CEO of the company.
Oh, nice.
And not only that, but Teresa Souza, who is an owner, and she is a vice president of the safety proof division. So she went from cleaning houses to really running a big part of our company. And it's amazing. So that's a little story.
I love that story. That is a super powerful story. So I would love to unpack the ETC Building and Design. So is this when you're building, is it more in line to make sure that they are safe against earthquakes? Is that the main piece to this, or is there even more?
There's a lot more. I mean,
Okay.
yes, it's mandated that hospitals have to be prepared for earthquakes in California, and you have to go through HCI, which is the building department for hospitals. And so there's strict mandates for people to do it, for the hospitals to do it, and we specialize in it. So they do call us, and we do that. That's part of our business. But the other part is building new, a PACU or an ED remodel, or like I said, the CAT scan rooms, the MRIs, all of those types of places within the hospital. And now we're doing the ground up, where we just built a PACU where we attached the ground up portion to the existing hospital, and that's a tough one to do. But we just finished it in a fantastic 18-bed PACU. And now we're doing behavioral health units. We got a big 70,000 square foot behavioral health unit ground up starting in about 2 months. And yeah, we're building. We're cranking.
Your journey just simply it amazes me. You sound like you were super dad in the beginning, and you took baby proofing to a whole nother level.
Right.
Turned it into a business by, I mean, you're literally saving lives with safety proof, and then that gradually got up to the point of now you're doing these buildings. It's
Mm-hmm.
incredible. That
Mm-hmm.
is, where did this inspiration come from? Like, what inspired you to be a founder?
Well, I've always been an entrepreneur since
Okay.
day one. I didn't want to work for anybody else. I wanted to start my own businesses. At 15, I'm going to the swap meet selling car stereos for my dad's business, right? And so I'm out doing that. And then I worked for a couple companies throughout my life, but I never really liked working for somebody else. I always liked working for myself. And then when the opportunity came to start Safety Proof, it came out of a fear and a protection of my children. And that's how it really started. But I was so inspired after I did it. I felt so good after I had fastened everything that I said, I got to get the word out to people because they don't know about this kind of stuff. And that's how it really got me going.
Awesome. You know, there's always like a roller coaster when you're going down this type of path. Is there anything that you wish you knew when you started that you know today?
Oh, where do I start? How long is this program?
Take all the
Yeah.
time you need.
Okay. Well, yeah. But I'll tell you one thing: when you fail, you learn. And I
Yes.
have failed so many times that I am so wise now at my old age of 66 that I could really write a book about it, because of all the failures that I've had. But I've also had some major successes. And yes, would I do something different? Yeah, I sure would. I would have, really had a business plan. I fly by the seat of my pants most of the time. I would have really done a lot of research. I would have invested differently. I would have, I've done so many things differently. But on the other hand, I think we did pretty well. We have like 85 employees right now, and we're building. We're growing as we speak. I mean, can you imagine 32 years later, we're growing again? And who knows, but in the next year, we might have over 150 employees, right? And for a little small company to really literally start in a garage and then to expand like that is quite exciting, and it keeps me from retiring. That's for sure.
The short amount of time that we've spoken, Michael, is I get super driven off of your passion. Like, you can definitely feel your enthusiasm when you speak about everything that you do. I'm
Mhm.
sure that gravitates towards your employees that you have. I mean, you have 85 employees. What kind of culture do you set? Like, what kind of employees do you guys have?
Well, we have a different culture.
Okay.
Okay. we, I don't know if you can see my shirt, but it says
Yep.
kindness and compassion, building a better world.
Oh
And
yeah.
we live by that. We that is just part of our culture with everything that we do. That's on every shirt that every person wears. That's how they treat people. That's we do, the charity work. We go out there, we practice what we preach,
Yeah.
and we've gotten everybody to buy into that. And it's amazing to see the people that work with us. We call them associates, we call them partners, we call them whatever we call them. They're still family, and we treat them that way. And I think that it says a lot. They're not just a number. They are we're open with them. They are free to come in at any time and speak with us about anything, share ideas. We just have that kind of culture, and it's fun to go to work.
That's
It's
so
really
great.
fun.
That
Yeah.
is so great. And do you have any employees that just have been with you in such a long time, like for like the longest time, or is anybody that you would want to give a shout out to that have been kind of by your side and helped you out along the way?
Oh yeah, yeah. Glenn Granholm is one of them. Glenn.
Yep.
Glenn has been with us, I think, almost 18 years,
Oh wow.
and he will be retiring soon. But
Good
I
for
wouldn't
him.
I wouldn't say he's going to retire in full. I know that for a fact because his brain is going. He's a writer. He's written a couple of books, I think three books so far. He's probably got another 10 in the back of his head that he's going to start writing. And so he's been great.
Wow.
John Mincer, my partner, and the CEO of ETC Building and Design, he's been he's been with us since 2006.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah,
Long
he's
time.
almost 20 years. And then we've got several people like Josh Miller and Matthew Burns and I can go on, Mindy Bryan and Ahmad Kaladi and Tom Ross. And we've got some stellar, stellar people that, I'm just sitting back watching as they create, and they're doing a fantastic job.
I felt the excitement coming out as if you were on stage at the Oscars and somebody was about to start playing the music and then you wanted to make sure that you cover everybody. No, no, don't stop yet. Let's make
Yeah,
sure to
yeah,
give
yeah.
but I feel it. So I'm sure there's a lot of employees that you cherish and keep close to you. And I
Hmm.
definitely felt that when you just threw that out there. So that's absolutely amazing. Um, just to, talk about even recruiting, which is interesting. Do you have anything when you look at a new prospective employee? Is there any traits that you look for? Like, how do you hire somebody today?
Well, you can look at a resume and you can see if they're job jumping, a year here, a year there, 2 years, and they're moving, right? And that's typically a younger person because they do that. I don't know. They move around a lot
Yeah.
for why I don't know, but they don't stay put for a long time. And one of the employees said to us that, this is not my career. This is not. I'm not going to be here in 4 years from now. I'll tell you that right now. I will
Mm.
be moving around. And he was. Let me see. How long has he? He was with us 6 months, and then he moved on. Right. So you got to be really, really careful, who you hire and what their goals are in life. And so we're getting really, really good at interviewing people and finding
Mm.
out how they're going to fit into the organization. Are they really going to be givers? Are they going to follow in the same culture that we want them to follow in? The kindness and compassion. Can they keep their tempers down? Can they be respectful to the clients? Can they be respectful to the internal clients, which is us, right? We look at that and we do our homework, and we have found some magnificent people. I have to say, they're just awesome.
It's so wild. Some people don't even think about, there's growth within your business on how good you get at your job, or you're getting better at your job and stuff like that. I don't think people
Mhm.
realize that there's even growth in the back office about hiring practices and people that you bring in, building up on your culture. So that's awesome. It's kind of like you do recognize that you guys have gotten better at hiring so that the employees that you're bringing in kind of
Mhm.
are a really great value add to everybody else that's already have been there. Do you use any type of uh tech? You don't have to be specific, but do you use any technology within your business to help with like, and I guess say workforce experience or excellence or anything like that, or
Um,
even like any technology at all?
well, we sometimes, especially in California, and maybe this is all over the United States, but because we're in California, um, we we have to rely on recruiters at some. Sometimes we need to get really stellar people, and recruiters during the COVID really kind of took over and just swooped in, and you're paying an exorbitant amount of money to a recruiter to get somebody. So we do rely on recruiters, but for the most part now, what's happening is it's slowing down. The economy is slowing down a bit, and so we are getting resumes from LinkedIn,
Oh,
from the LinkedIn Pro,
okay.
and that's how we're getting a lot of our employees. And so it's working out great. We're getting great resumes, and we're not paying a recruiter.
That is nice.
You're not a recruiter, are you?
No. I'm definitely not pushing myself
Okay,
as a recruiter.
I know.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Um, uh, I will selfishly plug that we can help get the resumes through the door, but I'm not a recruiter. I'll just put it that way. We're
Great.
more on the technology side. Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
great.
yeah. So as far as the construction industry, I'm sure you work alongside a lot of other construction companies.
Mhm.
Do you take any inspiration from other companies that you're working alongside or you're partnered with or anything like that? And then is there anything that you kind of would offer up to the industry from what you've seen that could potentially help the industry move forward?
Well, I would, we do have a lot of friends in the business,
Yeah.
whether they're competitors or not. We have found that it's better to be friends and
Yes.
share ideas, and we don't walk into a room saying, "Oh, I'm going to not talk to that person because they're our competitor and they just beat us out on this job." Well, if you learn and you do your sit down with the project manager where you can find out what you did wrong, and it just kind of a what do they call that? Not the exit interview, but it's more of there is a term for it, but an interview with your client, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't we get this job? And then we find out what they did right and what we did wrong, and we
Mm,
learn from that, right? And so we don't make those same mistakes. And we're landing. The average, is 25 to 30% of what we bid on. We land, which is pretty good.
that
I have
is
to.
good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and we do work with like the bigger companies, the Swinnertons, the
Mhm.
DPRs, and the McCarthys. They're nationwide. And some of are international, right? And we do
Yep.
work with them, and we will be a sub to them on occasion. But they will bring us in because of our expertise in the earthquake business, and so they will bring us in to do some of that for them. And we also work well with engineers,
Mm.
structural engineers and architects. We're very tight with them, and we help them with their designs a lot, and
That's
that's been
what
very helpful to us.
That is wonderful. I
Hmm.
have a quick question for you then, too, just to kind of bank off of what you mentioned about clients. So, over the years, have you ever gotten like a really cool review or something that somebody said nice about your company?
I would say once a week we
Oh,
get
once a
one.
week. That's
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
That's great. I was thinking, I almost thought you were gonna say, yeah, one time we got a good review, but once a
No,
week
no.
is a lot.
Once a week we
Wow.
get a letter from a nurse, a project manager, the CEO of the hospital or the laboratory. We get it all the time, and it's not just it's not just a compliment of one of our employees, our associates. It's a lot of them, because they're kind. And that's the difference, just being nice and being kind and not being arrogant and helping out and jumping through hoops for your client. It gets rave reviews, and we actually get some nurses and doctors who compliment our shirts all the time. That's so cool. Wow, I like the message that you're putting out there, right? And that's our message.
I'm gonna have to request that you send me one of those T-shirts or one of those shirts that you
got
have.
it.
That
Absolutely.
that would be awesome. So you sound like a wonderful business to work for. And where can people find your business? Where are you generally located? And then, do you guys have a website? How do people, reach out to you even for business as well?
Oh yeah, we have the Safety Proof website, which is safe-t-proof.com.
Okay.
That's our the products portion. We have a lot of patents on different products.
Nice.
We have a lot of we have the ICC ESR reports. We also have OPMs, which a lot of people in California and contractors will know about OPMs on different products that we have and different fastening systems. So they can go there if they're interested in the fastening systems, or they can go to ETC. ETCUSA.net is our construction website. And we're in California, all over California. We work from San Diego to Northern California.
Oh, wow. Yeah. California is like its own country. It's huge. That's great.
Yes.
So before we wrap up, I have one more question for you, and I could probably guess what it would be as far as like advice, but do you have any advice for new owners that could be listeners right now, or new founders out there?
Yes. And it's funny you should ask this question, because there's such thing as the founder syndrome.
Okay.
Founder syndrome is not letting people in, right? You push people out because you're afraid that you're going to lose yourself. You're going to lose what you built. It's an ego thing, whatever it is. Nobody can do it like you can. Wrong. That is not true. I have a high school education. I never went to college. I don't think I'm the smartest guy in the room. Okay. What I do is I seek people who I get along with that are way smarter than I am, and I let them run with it, and I elevate them up. And now John's elevating those people up, and that's how we operate.
Wow.
Sometimes I micromanage the Safety Proof part of the company.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm slowly but surely letting go of that as well. And there's better ideas out there, and I don't have them. Other people do. And so we love that people bring their ideas, and they help run the company. They are the company. So
Michael, you are truly inspirational. I love the piece about the founder syndrome. I feel like there could be a lot of listeners that hear that and are like, oh yeah, this is the way to do it. So I really appreciate that. And I want to thank you for being a guest on our show. And please, everyone, like, subscribe, comment, share the Builder Upper Show with anyone in the construction industry. Go check out Michael's websites that he threw out there, and we will see you next time. If you're a construction contractor and would like to appear as a guest on our podcast, write us an email. It's lou@lumberfy.com.